I'm a kid from the projects, like the fans that where they come from, these streets, and then I'm here.
Jose Alvarado, born April 12, 1998. If there was ever a player who embodied the idea that determination can bridge the gap between talent and opportunity, it's today's feature. Standing at just around 6 foot tall on a good day, without elite athleticism, deep shooting range, or the hype that usually follows future NBA players, Alvarado never looked like someone destined to make it. He wasn't a 5-star recruit, wasn't a one-and-done phenom, and on draft night, all 60 picks came and went without his name being called. For most players, that's where the dream begins to fade. For Jose, it was simply the beginning. Instead of allowing disappointment to define him, he doubled down on everything he could control: his effort, competitiveness, preparation, and willingness to embrace the dirty work that slowly transformed him from an overlooked guard fighting for a roster spot into one of the NBA's most respected role players. Along the way, he developed one of the league's most recognizable defensive signatures, earned the trust of coaches and teammates, and built a reputation that eventually helped him land on a championship team. Jose Alvarado's story isn't about becoming a superstar, it's about becoming the absolute best version of yourself, even when the odds suggest you shouldn't make it at all. Today, we're looking at the 3 biggest growth spurts that turned an undrafted, undersized guard into an NBA champion, and why his journey should inspire every player who's ever been told they're too small, too overlooked, and simply not good enough. What happened? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know who I should do next. Jose Alvarado is a 6-foot point guard from Brooklyn, New York, whose basketball journey has always been built on grit rather than reputation. Growing up in the heart of New York City, he developed the competitive edge that would later define his career. Despite starring at Christ the King High School, one of the nation's premier basketball programs, he wasn't viewed as an elite national prospect. Recruiting services rated him as a solid guard, and instead of heading to a blue blood program or chasing the NBA after one season, he committed to Georgia Tech. Alvarado spent all 4 years at Georgia Tech, steadily improving while becoming one of the best defensive guards in the ACC. As a senior, he helped lead the Yellow Jackets to both the ACC regular season and tournament championships while earning ACC Defensive Player of the Year honors. Even with those accomplishments, NBA scouts questioned whether his size and offensive upside would translate to the professional level. Those concerns proved costly on draft night, as all 60 selections in the 2021 NBA draft passed him by. Alvarado signed with the New Orleans Pelicans on a 2-way contract, sharing time between an NBA roster and the G League. It wasn't the glamorous path many prospects envisioned, but it gave him exactly what he needed: an opportunity. That decision became the foundation for everything that followed. Stunt number 1, capitalizing on every opportunity. For many players, going undrafted can be a very crushing blow that most don't come back from. It's the moment they realize the league doesn't value them the way they believed it would. Some lose confidence, others spend years blaming scouts, coaches, or bad luck. Jose Alvarado chose a different path. He accepted that if he wanted an NBA career, no one was going to hand it to him. Every minute, every possession, and every opportunity would have to be earned. After inking his deal with the Pelicans, everyone involved knew it would be a long road ahead. Two-way players often struggle with inconsistency. One day you're playing meaningful NBA minutes, the next you're back in the G League trying to prove yourself all over again. It can be frustrating, but Alvarado never treated it like a demotion. He approached every assignment with the understanding that someone in the organization was always watching. When opportunities finally came with the Pelicans, he didn't try to become something he wasn't. He wasn't hunting 30-point games or forcing difficult shots to prove he belonged. Instead, he leaned into the qualities that had gotten him there in the first place. He pressured opposing guards the full length of the floor, dove for loose balls, took charges, disrupted offenses, and consistently played harder than everyone around him. Those winning habits quickly caught the attention of the coaching staff and veterans alike. What made Alvarado different was his understanding of value. He realized that the Pelicans didn't need another high-volume scorer. They needed someone who could change the energy of a game, frustrate opposing ball handlers, and make winning plays that rarely appear in the box score. Rather than fighting against that reality, he embraced it completely. Before long, his role continued to grow. The Pelicans converted his two-way contract into a standard NBA deal, a reward that validated years of perseverance and preparation. More importantly, it proved that effort alone isn't enough. Plenty of players work hard. The difference is being ready when your opportunity finally arrives. Jose Alvarado's first growth spurt wasn't becoming an NBA player. It was learning how to maximize every opportunity placed in front of him. That mindset transformed him from an undrafted long shot into a trusted member of an NBA rotation, setting the stage for everything that came next. Stunt number 2, creating an identity. By the time Jose Alvarado established himself as an NBA rotation player, he had already accomplished something many undrafted guards never do. But sticking in the league is one thing, staying there for years is another. Alvarado understood that simply playing hard wasn't going to separate him forever. He needed something that made him unforgettable. That moment came through one of the most creative defensive tactics the NBA had seen in years. Rather than picking up opposing guards at half court like everyone else, Alvarado began hiding just beyond the baseline after made baskets, patiently waiting for the ball handler to turn up the floor before sprinting in from behind for a surprise steal. It caught players completely off guard. Suddenly, highlights of his sneaky steals flooded social media. Broadcasters started anticipating them during games, and fans gave the move its own nickname, Grand Theft Alvarado. What started as a clever defensive wrinkle quickly became part of his identity. Opposing point guards had to constantly look over their shoulders, coaches warned their players about him before games, and even when he wasn't recording a steal, the mere possibility of one forced opponents to think differently. That's the kind of impact few role players ever have. More importantly, Alvarado wasn't trying to manufacture attention, he was simply finding a way to maximize one of his greatest strengths. Without elite size or overwhelming athleticism, he relied on timing, instincts, anticipation, and relentless effort to create an advantage. He turned basketball IQ into a weapon. His defensive reputation only continued to grow. Fans embraced his fearless style of play, teammates fed off his energy, and coaches trusted him to change the momentum of games with hustle rather than scoring. In a league where role players often blend together, Jose Alvarado had become instantly recognizable. That may not sound as glamorous as becoming an all-star, but it's one of the smartest things a professional athlete can do. The NBA is filled with talented players. The ones who last are the ones who become known for doing something no one else does quite the same way. Jose Alvarado's second growth spurt wasn't adding a new move to his game, it was creating an identity. Once Grand Theft Alvarado became part of the NBA landscape, he was no longer just another undersized guard fighting to survive. He had become one of the league's most memorable role players, and that reputation would continue opening doors throughout his career. Stunt number 3, being ready when opportunity knocked again. By the middle of his career, Jose Alvarado had already accomplished more than most people expected. He had gone from undrafted to a reliable NBA rotation player, built one of the league's most recognizable defensive identities, and earned respect all across the basketball world. But another opportunity was waiting around the corner, one that had the potential to elevate his career even further. At the 2026 trade deadline, the New Orleans Pelicans dealt Alvarado to the New York Knicks. On the surface, it looked like a simple roster move, but in reality, it placed him in the perfect basketball situation. The Knicks didn't need another star, they already had high-level talent, but what they needed was dependable role players willing to defend, compete, sacrifice, and embrace whatever responsibilities winning demanded. That description fit Jose Alvarado perfectly. Unlike players who struggle after changing teams, Alvarado didn't need the offense built around him to make an impact. His game translated anywhere. Whether he was playing 10 minutes or 30, he pressured opposing guards, disrupted passing lanes, fought over screens, and injected energy every time he stepped on the floor. Those qualities don't disappear because of a new uniform. In fact, they're often valued even more on a championship contender. As New York's playoff run continued, Alvarado once again proved why he had lasted in the NBA despite lacking the physical tools scouts usually prioritize. Every possession was played with urgency, every defensive assignment was accepted without complaint. He understood that championships aren't won by stars alone. Winning teams also need players willing to do the jobs that rarely make headlines. When the Knicks captured the 2026 NBA championship, Alvarado officially became an NBA champion. While he wasn't the face of the franchise, his journey made the moment especially meaningful. Few players travel the path from overlooked high school recruit to four-year college player to undrafted free agent to two-way contract and finally to NBA champion. Every step had to be earned. Jose Alvarado's final growth spurt wasn't simply getting traded to a better team, it was being prepared when the biggest opportunity of his career arrived. Because when New York came looking for winning players, they weren't searching for the flashiest name available. They were looking for someone they could trust. Jose Alvarado had spent years building that reputation, and when the opportunity finally came, he was more than ready. All in all, Jose Alvarado's career is proof that success in basketball isn't reserved exclusively for the tallest, fastest, or most highly recruited players. It's also available to those willing to outwork expectations, embrace their strengths, and maximize every opportunity they're given. From going undrafted in 2021 to fighting through the G League on a two-way contract, creating one of the NBA's most recognizable defensive trademarks, and eventually becoming an NBA champion with the New York Knicks, every milestone in his journey was earned through consistency and preparation rather than hype. His story should resonate with every undersized guard who's ever been told they aren't big enough, athletic enough, or talented enough to make it. Jose never spent his career trying to become someone else. He became the absolute best Jose he could become, and that turned out to be more than enough. Not every player is destined to become an all-star or a Hall of Famer, but Jose Alvarado reminds us that greatness isn't always measured by points per game or individual accolades. Sometimes it's measured by earning the trust of coaches, the respect of teammates, and finding a way to contribute to winning at the highest level. That's exactly what he did. That's why his journey deserves to be remembered as one of the NBA's most inspiring stories. Salute, much respect. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and